some people try to pretend like the frustration they have is not real and move past that. And so that's a bit of what I'm saying is like, you have to acknowledge it and then move to try to get people to take some type of action. And then on the flip side, of course, I do this work because I love Black people. And there is some bit of that, which means like looking about like how do we organize our people and like what does that look like? But also people, they always say, you can't pour from an empty well. So there's a bit of like balancing how do you take care of yourself, but also how do you organize in movement. And this is a bit of a side tangent, but just like thinking about a lot of the things that we went through together during the Ferguson uprisings, there was a lot of burnout. And because there wasn't space to take care of yourself, and I think that had a real impact on a lot of people that is really devastating. So I do think that there is this balance of, yes, how do we like pull people forward with us? How do we think more broadly about organizing movement, but not to do that at the detriment of taking care of ourselves?
Yeah. And I think that's why the home piece is so important. Like if you think about work, right, in general, people go to work and there's a lot of ways that it meets a lot of needs, but it's not home. There's a reason why coming home has a way of grounding and rest and reminder. And sometimes, while I think we're all agreed here that movement and politics and trying to build a movement around politics is almost like it's one of those things where it's like, oh, that's simple, but it's not easy because both of those spaces, and especially the organizers that do a lot of that work, often are struggling to find a home after they do that work. And oftentimes those two sides are fighting amongst each other. Politics looks at movement like, what's the point of this? You all aren't doing anything. Movement looks at politics like, we have repeated evidence of this not necessarily getting us our civil rights. And so there's also this like, this need for a middle ground at times to be mediators. And that's why it was so comforting to see somebody like you in Ferguson, because it's like we oftentimes see those two sides as being very, very separate.